In this video, I will explain all the movements and effects in detail. First, let's go over the movements. Remember, all movements can be used to either enter or exit an electrode. Also, a movement must always be initiated by the player's electrons, but it can affect other players' electrons as well. Hop is the simplest movement. You move one electron to an adjacent site, either vertically or horizontally, while keeping its spin. With the doublon hop, you can move a pair of electrons that are sharing the same site to an adjacent one. However, the target site must be completely empty for this movement to work. The spin flip allows you to change the spin of a single electron as long as the target spin in the same site is empty. Quantum Newton's cradle is a bit more complex. Here, you hop an electron toward a sequence of one or more electrons with the same spin. This causes the last electron in the sequence to hop away in the same direction. Both the first and last electrons in the sequence need an empty space to hop. Finally, there's quantum tunneling, which lets you bypass a sequence of one or more electrons with the same spin and finish on the first available site. Now let's move on to the effects. Keep in mind that effects can also be used to either enter or exit an electrode, and they can influence any player's electrons. The first effect is quantum tunneling, which is the same as before, but no longer subject to the conservation of energy. Then we have superposition. You place an electron on the line between two spins. When another movement or effect requires the spin to be determined, the player who used superposition gets to choose the final spin. But if that choice makes the move impossible, the move is lost. Next, there's the superconducting vortex. Place a vortex token between four sites and choose its direction, either clockwise or counterclockwise. After each turn, all electrons near the vortex move one site in the chosen direction. Zero-point energy is a simple but powerful effect. When it's used, all other players must give one energy to the pool if they have any available. With the vacancy impurity effect, you can either add or remove a site from the grid. If a site is removed, any electrons on it return to their respective electrodes. Note that an electrode can never be left isolated. When you use microwave cavity, place a cavity token between two sites. After each turn, electrons will hop between these two sites in the direction of the arrow on the token. The Penning's trap is another interesting one. By placing the trap token on a site, you make it so that electrons can enter that site, but once they do, they cannot leave. Long-range hopping allows you to move an electron exactly two sites away, keeping the same spin. The nice thing about this effect is that you can even pass through a site that's occupied by another electron or missing. With the diffusion effect, you can exchange the positions of two electrons with the same spin, as long as they are in adjacent sites or electrodes. With the resistance effect, you place a resistance token between two sites. Afterward, whenever a player moves one or more electrons across the token, they receive one energy from the pool. This only applies to movements, not effects. Ionization allows you to remove a single electron from the game entirely, as long as it's on a site and not an electrode. With the mobility edge effect, you gain the ability to play an extra movement, even if that specific movement has been blocked for the round. The heat source effect lets you place a heat token on a site. After each turn, all electrons on the spin down at that site will switch to the spin up. If there are two electrons present, you can even choose to swap their positions. Lastly, dead short lets you steal one energy from another player of your choice. If you're interested in learning more about the underlying physics of each movement and effect, feel free to check the info book at the back of the rulebook.